Visit us at magicmechanic.com. Let's get back to the phones. Who's up next? Oh, I think we're going to go to Gary here in Orlando.
Gary, you're live with the Magic Mechanic.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Gary. Thanks for holding on.
Hey, yeah. Duramax diesel 2005. 2 years ago, I had to replace the injection module. Got lucky and got a used one. Had it programmed at Orange Buick. And then maybe 3 years ago. Anyhow, last weekend, the truck started shutting off on me. I could get out, prime the pump on top of the fuel filter, get it to crank. It might run 2 minutes. It might run 2 hours. I talked to JD one day, went and stopped in the shop there and talked to him. I pulled loose the pin connectors, cleaned them out real good with a contact cleaner, blew them out with an air hose, everything. Put it all back together, cranked it up, ran like a piece of junk. So just out of a whim, I took and sprayed every opening I could find around those connectors with the CRC contact cleaner.
Okay.
Cranked it up the next day, drove it all over the place. Cranked it must have been 10 times, probably 50 miles on it or so. Next day, I'm driving along, and it shut down on me again. So, but I can still get out, prime the pump, crank it right back up, and you never know. And it may run, like I say, 30 minutes to 30 days or 30 seconds. So,
Gary, have you ever replaced the filter head for the fuel filter, the actual part the filter screws into?
No, I have not.
Well, let's put that on our high priority list, okay? They're not that much money. Let's get one because it's like this. If you're pumping if you're pumping the fuel at the filter, and if that thing is not hard as a rock when you go to try to pump it, that means there's air getting in that system. And that filter head's got some O-rings in it, and you've got the pump there that can also leak. It can actually get air into the system and cause you all kinds of grief. But that filter head's got to be replaced. That's public enemy number one. There's only one other thing that I will tell you is that this is just a regular pickup truck, right?
Correct.
Do you have?
Yes.
Let me ask you this: do you have any rust in the bed or anything like that, or can water leak through the bed for any reason? Or I got to ask these questions.
Yeah, it could a little bit. I had a fifth wheel receiver back there for several years, and I took it out and I left those half-inch holes where it was mounted.
All right, let me tell you something.
In the bed, but I have no rust.
All right, okay, all right. Let me tell you why I ask. I've had these things come in, and this is crazy. I mean, this is crazy. Now that I'm thinking about it, there's a couple other things too. One of them is I had one of these come in one time, and something similar. It wasn't a rusted situation, but water was allowed to leak through the bed of the vehicle right onto the top of the fuel tank. And the actual seal underneath the sending unit area where it pulls the fuel out of the tank was allowing water to get in that tank. And I'm telling you, that poor guy, I mean, he had fought that thing for years because of water getting down on top of the fuel tank. And what was happening is he was getting some seepage of that water going into the tank through the seal where the sending unit is. So don't underestimate that. Just because there's holes back there, if it's running down on top of the fuel tank, you could have an issue. And if that is the case, get you a big old piece of rubber flashing of some sort, fish it over the top of the tank, and put some sort of a fuel dryer in there or water or something, to try to clear up that water. But it does happen. I've seen that happen 2 times. The other thing too is you said you replaced the fuel. Well, this wouldn't have anything to do if you had, if the primer on the fuel head, on the filter head is spongy. That means there's air getting in the system. I just point blank. I was going to say there is a wiring harness that runs to the FICM, which is your fuel injection control module, and it's tied up. The wiring harness is for that is tied up in behind the alternator, and a lot of times the bracket that it's wire tied to will cut into that harness. But I don't think that's your problem. Let's replace that filter head to start with, and maybe take some silicone sealer and just plug up those holes so water doesn't run directly through it. Because if it is and it's getting on top of the fuel tank, that could cause us a problem. If it's not right now, it could cause us a problem later on. Gary, give that a shot. Let me know how it works out. I hope that filter head takes care of all your problems.
Gary,
For automotive information, maybe you got automotive questions on cars, trucks, vans, SUVs. Maybe you're thinking about maybe purchasing a used vehicle, and maybe you just want my opinion. Tune in to the Magic Mechanic radio show every Saturday, 3 to 5 p.m. on wdbo.com. Also, tune in to our Magic Mechanic YouTube channel, and don't forget to subscribe. And we'll all get together, maybe fix a few cars while we're at it.